Imagine you have spent your whole life piloting a complex fighter jet using a manual for a coffee maker. You tried your best, pressed the buttons, and were an attentive pilot, but the instruments showed an error and the turbulence only got worse. By 40 or 50, many men feel exactly this way. You did everything right. You built a house, provided for your family, and were a solid wall of support. But instead of harmony and warmth, you sometimes hit a wall of misunderstanding, coldness, or strange reactions that defy logic. And you ask yourself the question, what am I doing wrong? The good news is, it is not about you. And by and large, it is not about her either. The thing is, no one taught us how to read the source code. We're used to judging relationships by beautiful movies and books, forgetting that biology lies at the foundation of everything. We forget that both man and woman are, first and foremost, creations of nature. Inside each of us, without exception, live ancient instincts, hormonal cycles, and unconscious programs that have been forming for millions of years. This is neither good nor bad. It is simply a fact, like gravity. And ignoring this fact means walking against the wind. Today, we're not going to blame anyone. We're not going to complain about life. We're going to do something more useful. We're going to turn on the lights. We will break down 50 facts about the nature of women and relationships through the prism of science, evolutionary psychology, and the ideas of Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud. We will look at how attraction, attachment, and instincts actually work. This knowledge will help you stop wandering in a fog of guesswork and start understanding the true causes of what is happening. You will see a system where you previously saw chaos. I will give you 50 keys. It will be a fascinating journey from anatomy to psychology, and I ask you to be attentive until the very end. As the 50th point, I will reveal the patient zero effect. This is that hidden element without understanding which any relationship remains a lottery. This will be the puzzle piece that brings the whole picture together. And remember, this channel exists thanks to the support of thinking men. If you feel that useful information is being voiced here, information that helps you live and grow, you can become our sponsor. This is an opportunity to contribute to the development of a community of common sense. The link is always available in the description. And now, let's cast aside illusions and look truth in the eye, with respect and interest in the nature of things. Like this video right now. It is a sign that you are ready for new knowledge. If you are here for the first time, subscribe so you do not miss the most important parts. We are starting the dive. Module 1. Secrets of the Kitty, Hidden Physiology. We will dedicate the first block to where it all begins and where it all ends. We will talk about her kitty. About that very place that men worship, fear, and often completely fail to understand. We're used to thinking that we know anatomy, but in reality, we're wandering in a labyrinth of myths. Let's turn on the lights. Fact 1. The 6-minute law and the marathon runner error. Many men are proud that they can perform pumping motions for 40 minutes or even an hour. It seems to them that this is an indicator of strength, endurance, and skill. They think, the longer, the more pleasure I give her. This is a colossal mistake. From a physiological point of view, the female body is capable of reaching peak release in just 6 minutes of correct, rhythmic stimulation. 6 minutes is the biological norm for solo mode. If in a couple's dance the process drags on for an hour without a finale on her part, it does not mean that you are a sex giant. It means that you are breaking the rhythm, losing the point of contact, or simply rubbing her raw, killing the sensitivity. The marathon runner's error is that he confuses mechanical friction with rising arousal. After 15 or 20 minutes of monotonous movements, her natural lubrication begins to dry out. The mucous membrane gets irritated, and instead of ecstasy, she starts planning her grocery list for tomorrow, dreaming that you would finish sooner. Remember, intensity and precision are always more important than duration. Better 10 minutes of animalistic, focused drive with a precise hit on the target than an hour of dull marathon that exhausts both. Evolution did not create us for hour-long acts. It created us for rapid and efficient reproduction, and her body remembers this. Fact 2. The invisible iceberg. Most men perceive the magic button, the clitoris, specifically as a small P on the outside. They think that if you rub this button, the fireworks will launch. This is a primitive view. In reality, what you see on the outside is just the tip of the iceberg, the glands. The organ itself is a powerful structure ranging from 10 to 12 centimeters, comparable in size to your tool in a flaccid state. The kitty has long legs and bulbs that go deep inside the body and embrace the entrance to the vagina from both sides, like crab claws. And here we destroy Freud's main myth about the vaginal orgasm. Freud was wrong to consider it a sign of maturity. Physiologically, the so-called vaginal finale is still the stimulation of the clitoris, but only from the inside. When you move inside her, you create pressure on the walls, which transmit vibration to those hidden legs of the iceberg. Understanding this fact changes tactics. Your task is not just to penetrate deep, but to create pressure on the front wall, massaging her hidden structure. You are not working with a void, you are working with a mechanism hidden under the skin. Knowing this, you stop looking for mythical spots and start working with real anatomy. Fact 3. The myth of the bucket and width. This is one of the most painful fears for men and the most unfair accusations against women. You enter her and do not feel the usual tight grip. The first thought that hits your ego is, she is too wide. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway in there. She probably had too many partners before me. Or even worse, my tool is too small for her. Stop. This is a trap of ignorance. The walls of the kitty are muscle tissue, which is closed in a calm state. The sensation of width or emptiness most often arises for two reasons. The first is deep relaxation and trust. When a woman is truly aroused, her muscles relax to let you in, and the uterus rises, lengthening the canal. This is called the tent effect. The second reason is abundant lubrication, which reduces friction to zero. If she is tight and you are struggling to break through, often this is not a sign of her innocence or being anatomically small, but a sign of spasm, fear, or insufficient arousal. The body shrinks when it is not ready to accept an invasion. So if it's spacious in there, it's a compliment to your skill in relaxing her and not a reason for jealousy of the past. Fact 4. The water park syndrome. Continuing the theme of sensations, it happens that during the process it becomes too wet, so much so that you stop feeling anything at all. Your fighter starts to fall because traction with the walls disappears. This is called sensory deprivation. Many men panic at this moment or start blaming themselves, and the woman might think that she is disgusting to you. The reality is, excess moisture is pure biology. This often happens during ovulation, when the body releases maximum secretion to facilitate the path for potential life. This is a species survival mechanism. The lubrication becomes more liquid and slippery. It is not your fault, and it is not her defect. It's nature screaming, "I am ready for reproduction." What should an experienced operator do? Don't freak out. Just change tactics. Use a towel. Change the position to one where the angle of entry creates more friction. Don't let biology knock down your mood. You control the process, not the liquid. Fact 5. The secret flood button.
Many have heard of the G-spot, but few know about the A-spot, AFE. This is a zone on the front wall, but located much deeper, almost at the cervix itself. If the G-spot is a texture zone similar to a walnut, then the A-spot is a smooth and hypersensitive zone. Its uniqueness lies in the fact that stimulation of this zone causes almost instant and abundant lubrication, even if a second ago there was the Sahara Desert. This is the emergency system launch button. For a man over 40, this knowledge is worth its weight in gold. With age, natural lubrication in women may decrease due to hormonal changes, and instead of reaching for artificial lube, killing the magic of the moment, an experienced lover knows a few soft but deep presses into the secret zone will launch natural fountains. It works like a reflex, bypassing consciousness. You press, the body answers. This is pure mechanics that you need to know how to use. Fact 6. the truth about female reign. Squirt. So many lances have been broken over this phenomenon that you could build a fence. Some shout that this is top-tier sex, others wrinkle their noses and assure that it is just urine. The truth, as always, lies in the middle, and it is much more interesting. The liquid that is ejected at the moment of peak is a chemical cocktail. Yes, there is a component from the bladder, but it is mixed with the secretion of the Skene's glands. This is the analog of the male prostate. This secretion contains enzymes and prostate-specific antigen, which cannot be in ordinary urine. But for you as a man, it is not the chemistry that is important, but the psychology of this process. A woman cannot issue this fountain on command. This happens only at the moment of total loss of control, when her animal part completely suppresses social inhibitions. She is not afraid to disgrace herself, not afraid to stain the sheets. She fully trusts you with her essence. If this happened, it means you pierces her armor. You reached her instincts. This is a sign of the highest trust of a female to a male, not a reason for squeamishness. Fact 7. Menstrual libido. Here we step into taboo territory. Most men keep their distance during these days, perceiving the woman as unclean or inaccessible, and they make a strategic mistake. It is in the first days of the cycle, thanks to a powerful rush of blood to the pelvic organs and a hormone surge, that many women experience a wild, almost animal hunger. Sensitivity increases significantly. Her body aches and demands release to relieve spasms. Male squeamishness here plays against you. I am not calling for a bloodbath if it repels you, but you must know, if you reject her desire at this moment, she feels doubly rejected. She feels dirty and unwanted. There are different ways to give her release without violating your comfort zone. Understanding that on these days she is not a sick patient but a red-hot furnace gives you an advantage. This is the time when you can get the most passionate response if you are not afraid of physiology. Fact 8. Impact on the cervix and the vagus nerve. Why for one woman deep penetration to the hilt is sweet torture and ecstasy, and for another is hellish pain and a reason to stop the act. It's not about being capricious, it's about the vagus nerve. The cervix is permeated with nerve endings that are directly connected to the vagus nerve leading to the brain. In some women, direct stimulation of the cervix causes nausea and pain. In others, an instant release of endorphins and a state of altered consciousness similar to narcotic intoxication. You must be an explorer, not a jackhammer. You must feel out this edge. If you hit the cervix and she winces, you are hurting her. You are associated with violence. If she rolls her eyes and arches like a bow, you have found the button to reboot her brain. This type of pleasure is the deepest. It turns off logic completely, but not everyone has access to it, and your task is to find out how this particular instrument is tuned.
Fact 9. Pompoir, the golden clamp. This is knowledge from the elite category. Pompoir is the art of mastering intimate muscles. A woman who has mastered this skill is able to bring a man to the finale without making a single movement with her body. She simply milks you from the inside using muscle rings. In ancient treatises, such women were called jewels. Wars were started for them. Why is it important for you to know this? Because most modern women have weak pelvic floor muscles. Sedentary lifestyle, lack of exercise, and often what you write off as a loss of your male strength or habituation is actually just the atony of her muscles. This is treatable. This is trainable, and if you, as a wise mentor, gently lead her to the idea of training these muscles, under the pretext of health, of course, you will get a completely new woman in bed. The sensations from the golden clamp cannot be compared to anything. This is a trap you don't want to get out of. Fact 10. Afterglow and the oxytocin trap. A man and a woman exit sex differently. Your refractory period kicks in, the deed is done, testosterone levels drop, you need to turn away, sleep, or eat. Your biological program is completed. A woman does not have this period. Immediately after the finale, her brain is flooded with oxytocin, the attachment hormone. She vitally needs tactile contact, hugs, words. She needs confirmation that the act was an act of love, not just usage.
If at this moment you coldly turn to the wall or grab your phone, her subconscious reads this as an alarm signal. I was used. I am a thing. The male got what he wanted and left. It is in these minutes after sex that more relationships are destroyed than during scandals. You can be a god in the process, but if you bailed at the finale, you lost. Spend 5 minutes on the so-called afterglow. This is an investment that pays off 100-fold. It is in these minutes that she is programmed for loyalty to you. Do not miss this moment. Module 2. Anatomy of Betrayal, the Dark Side of Loyalty. Now that we have dealt with the anatomy of the body, we need to look deeper into the anatomy of behavior. We are entering a territory that has destroyed millions of lives: infidelity. This word evokes fear, anger, and a sense of powerlessness. But emotions are poor advisors. To protect your perimeter, you must understand the enemy's logic, even if that enemy is an ancient biological program hardwired into your beloved woman's subconscious. We will look at 10 facts that explain why and how betrayal happens from an evolutionary perspective. Fact 11. The monkey branch effect. In the world of primates, there is an iron rule. A female never lets go of one branch until she has a firm grip on the next. This is a self-preservation instinct. In the wild, falling meant death. In modern relationships, it works exactly the same way. Men are often surprised. She left me for nothing, said she needed to be alone. This is a lie we find convenient to believe to protect our ego. The reality is, a woman almost never leaves into a void. If she initiated the breakup, it means the new branch, another man, is already prepared, tested for strength, and waiting for her. The transition process began long before you heard the words about parting. While you thought you were just having a crisis, she had already emotionally moved on to a new candidate. Therefore, when you hear "I need time," read it as "I'm checking the reliability of my new safety net." As soon as she's sure it is safe there, she will unclench her fingers. This is not malice, it is the survival strategy of a weaker individual who needs protection. Fact 12. Micro-cheating and energy leaks. Many men consider only physical contact to be cheating. She didn't sleep with him, they're just texting. This is a dangerous delusion. A woman's infidelity does not start in bed, it starts in her head. There is a concept of micro-cheating: likes, comments, innocent chats with colleagues, light flirting. It seems trivial, but from the perspective of brain chemistry, it's theft. A woman has a limited supply of emotional energy and dopamine. If she spends this resource on flirting on her smartphone, investing attention in another male, she inevitably takes it away from you. You get the leftovers of her attention, her irritation, and her coldness, because the whole party went there, into the chat. For her brain, the virtual admirer has already become a source of dopamine, and you have turned into a boring domestic background. Remember, where her attention goes, her libido flows. Physical contact is just a matter of time and opportunity. Fact 13. The dual mating strategy. Evolutionary biology is cruel. A female has 2 conflicting needs. The first is good genes: health, aggression, dominance, high testosterone. This is needed for strong offspring. The second is a good father: reliability, care, resources, security. The problem is that in nature these qualities are rarely combined in one man. High-status alphas are rarely good family men. Hence, the unconscious dual mating strategy is born. Get genes from a genetic monster, a daring, dangerous guy on the side, and get resources and child-rearing from a reliable, calm husband. This sounds cynical, but it is a biological fact, confirmed by genetic tests in the animal world and, alas, among humans. If you have become only a provider for her and lost your masculine edge, you risk becoming the sponsor of someone else's genetic legacy. A woman does not plan this maliciously. She is driven by the ancient call of nature to optimize her offspring. Fact 15. The scent of a stranger. This sounds like mysticism, but it is chemistry. A woman's microflora is a delicate ecosystem. After contact with another man, her internal pH balance and bacterial composition change. Foreign DNA and foreign enzymes make their adjustments, and subconsciously, the woman feels this. Moreover, her natural scent changes. But the scariest thing here is the rejection reaction. Sometimes, after infidelity, a woman develops a sudden, irrational disgust for her legal husband. She finds your smell unpleasant, your touch, even the way you breathe. This is a protective mechanism of nature. The body tries to prevent the mixing of genetic material from different males in a short period. If everything was fine yesterday, and today she recoils from your hugs as if from fire and says, "I don't like it," this is a very alarming bell. Perhaps her body is already busy processing data from another user. Fact 16. Hysterical bonding. Imagine the situation. You are on the verge of divorce. You have packed your bags. You are cold and determined. And suddenly she changes. She becomes affectionate, passionate. She wants you like she hasn't wanted you since the honeymoon. She does things in bed that were previously forbidden. You think she finally gets it. The love is back. You relax, unpack your suitcases, and a week later, everything returns to hell.
This is called hysterical bonding. It is not love. It is a panic reaction of the psyche to the loss of a resource. When a woman realizes that the ATM and protector is really leaving, her emergency retention mode kicks in. She uses sex as her last currency, as a hook to regain control of the situation. As soon as you are back under control, the fear disappears and the demo version ends. Do not confuse this adrenaline rush with true remorse or desire. It is simply the agony of attachment. Fact 17. Projection of guilt. Old man Freud described a defense mechanism called projection. A person attributes their own forbidden desires and actions to others. In relationships, this works like clockwork. If your woman suddenly, without any reason, starts tormenting you with jealousy, checking your phone, accusing you of looking at waitresses, stop and think. Most often, this is a confession, only she is not talking about you, but about herself. By accusing you, she is trying to drown out her own guilt. She needs to make you the bad guy to justify her behavior. The subconscious logic is simple. He is probably cheating too. All men are like that, so I haven't done anything terrible. Baseless, aggressive jealousy on her part is almost always a smokescreen hiding her own infidelity or active preparation for it. Fact 18. The circle of complicity. Male friendship is often built on principles of honor. Female friendship is built on principles of complicity. You must know the truth. Her friends know everything. If she has a lover, her friends are already in the know. They have seen his photo, they have discussed the details, and most likely they have already justified her. In a female collective, a powerful solidarity works. They will always find a reason why you yourself are to blame, and she is a victim of circumstances who is just looking for happiness. Never count on her best friend to open your eyes. On the contrary, she will provide her an alibi. "She was at my place, we were having tea." This phrase has covered up millions of affairs. For them, you are an external element, and they are a clan. Therefore, when analyzing the situation, look not at what her friends say, but at how they look at you. Often, a mixture of pity and mockery can be read in their eyes when they know what you do not. Fact 19. The trench effect. The office romance. According to statistics, about 60% of affairs happen at work, and it is not just because she spends 8 hours there. It's about the psychology of comrades in arms. Shared deadlines, stress from the boss, corporate parties, lunches together, all this brings people closer faster than years of a joint mortgage. A male colleague sees her all dressed up with makeup, active, and you see her tired in a bathrobe with her makeup washed off. At work, the trench effect arises. They solve problems together, they have a common enemy and common victories. This is a powerful aphrodisiac. If she starts mentioning some just a colleague too often, quoting his jokes, or on the contrary suddenly falls silent when the conversation turns to him, be on guard. An office romance is dangerous because they have a legal opportunity to be together every day, and you have no way to control it without looking like a paranoid. Fact 20. I'm confused, translated from womanese. This phrase is a classic of the genre. When you corner her with questions or demand certainty, she makes sad eyes and says, I'm confused. I need to figure myself out. A man, as a logical creature, thinks she needs help, support, or a psychologist. He starts to unravel her. Mistake. Let's translate this into the language of realism. I'm confused means I am choosing between you and another candidate. I am comparing the terms of the deal. That option gives emotions, but you give resources. I haven't decided which combination is more profitable for me. Wait in the hallway while I finish the casting. At this moment, she is not a victim of circumstances. She is a cold, calculating manager. And the best strategy for you here is not to wait for the tender results, but to withdraw your candidacy from the elections. The paradox is that it is precisely your readiness to leave that often makes her instantly unconfused and choose you. But do you need that?
Module 3. The Shadow and Instincts. What she wants in the dark. During the day, a modern woman is an independent personality, a careerist, a caring mother. She demands equality and respect. But as soon as the bedroom door closes and the lights go out, the social masks fall off. The ancient brain comes into play. Psychoanalysts call this the shadow, the dark storeroom of our psyche where we hide our true but socially unacceptable desires. And if you want to be not just a roommate to her, but a drug, you must know how to open this door. Fact 21. The force fantasy. This is a statistic that makes feminists' hair stand on end. According to various anonymous surveys, from 50 to 60% of women have sexual fantasies related to being dominated or simulating being taken by force. It is important to understand, this has nothing to do with real violence, which causes horror. This is a game. Why is this so arousing? The answer is in responsibility. A modern woman is tired of making decisions. She is tired of being strong. In this fantasy, she is completely freed from the burden of responsibility for what is happening. It's not that I'm depraved, it's that he made me do it. I'm not to blame. This allows the good girl to legally experience animal pleasure without feeling shame. If you can create a safe scenario where you take 100% control, you give her a vacation from her own superego. Fact 22. Hybristophilia, the attraction to the beast. Have you noticed that the most notorious criminals and villains often receive bags of letters from women in love? This phenomenon is called hybristophilia. It is a biological paradox. A woman is drawn to a man who demonstrates aggression, danger, and disregard for rules. In the ancient world, a kind and gentle man was prey, while an aggressive one was a leader. Of course, you do not need to rob banks to attract a woman, but you need to kill the teddy bear in yourself. A drop of healthy, controlled aggression and unpredictability is the best aphrodisiac. She must feel that the beast in you is not dead, but just on a chain that you hold in your hands. Fact 23. The aesthetics of humiliation. Why does a gentle darling in bed often work worse than dirty, insulting words that would earn you a slap in normal life? It is the principle of contrast. A socially successful woman, a director, or an ideal mother experiences colossal tension from the need to keep up appearances. Being dirty for her is a release.
When you call her by those very words in a moment of passion, you are as if tearing off her expensive office suit and allowing her to be just a female animal. You confirm that you accept her lust, her base part. This is an act of the greatest psychological liberation. But remember, this only works in the context of complete trust and only behind closed doors. Bring this to the kitchen and you get a scandal. Fact 24. The predator's grip. A light squeeze of your hand on her neck during the process. For many couples, this has become the norm, but few understand the biological meaning. The neck is the most vulnerable place of any mammal. In the animal world, a predator grabs its prey by the throat to kill. A male grabs a female by the scruff of the neck to mate. When you place your hand on her throat, not choking but indicating power, you send a powerful signal to her reptilian brain. I can destroy you, but I choose to give you pleasure. It is a game on the edge of life and death that causes adrenaline rushes, and adrenaline in the blood enhances sexual sensations significantly. This is the highest form of trust. She is literally handing her life to you. Fact 25. The view from below. The position where a woman is on her knees or lying down, looking up at the man, activates ancient hierarchical programs. It is a posture of submission, a posture of recognition of authority. At this moment, you appear visually larger, more powerful, more monumental to her. This triggers the childhood need for protection and a strong figure.
Many women admit that it is this eye-to-eye, from-below angle that turns them on more than any mechanical actions, because at that moment, she sees a god or a master in you. Do not hesitate to use this visual code. Make her look at you at that moment. This strengthens your dominant position in the relationship more than 1,000 gifts. Fact 26. Mirrored voyeurism. Women love mirrors in the bedroom not just because they are narcissists. A different mechanism is at work here. She likes to see not just herself, she likes to see how you possess her. She needs validation from the outside. When she sees in the reflection how you squeeze her body, how you lose your head with passion, she gets visual proof of her value as a female. This is called mirror validation. Look at what a strong male is going crazy over me right now. This raises her self-esteem to the skies. If you do not have a mirror opposite the bed in your bedroom, you are losing 30% of the visual content that could work for your charisma. Fact 27. The forbidden door. The back door. A taboo topic for many and a holy grail for others. From a psychological point of view, allowing a man access to the forbidden door is an act of absolute surrender. This is a zone not intended by nature for entry. It is a zone of vulnerability and potential pain. If she lets you in there, it means her level of trust in you, or her desire to keep you, is at its maximum. It is a break from the template, a violation of the rules, and violating rules always releases a huge amount of dopamine. But the rule of a sapper applies here. One mistake, one sharp movement, one drop of pain without preparation, and that door will close forever, and you will get the status of a rapist in her head. Here, you need to be a jeweler, not a brute. Fact 28. Public risk. Sex in a car in a parking lot, in the store's fitting room, or in the woods where mushroom pickers might see you. It seems uncomfortable, dirty, and scary, but it is precisely the fear here that is the fuel. The fear of being caught causes a release of cortisol and norepinephrine. These stress hormones sharpen all the senses. The heart beats like crazy, blood circulation speeds up. For a woman whose life is often scheduled according to a boring home-work-home routine, such a risk is a breath of fresh air. It is an adventure. It's a return to youth. If your relationship is stuck in a rut, you do not need to buy new sheets. You just need to take her to a place where you can almost be seen. The effect will be stronger than from a dinner at a restaurant. Fact 30. The cannibal instinct. Have you noticed that in a fit of passion she might start biting your shoulders, scratching your back until it bleeds? In psychology, this is called cute aggression. This happens when the brain is overloaded with positive emotions. There are so many feelings that the brain cannot cope and compensates for them with a burst of aggression to level the balance. But there is a deeper, more ancient layer. It is the instinct of appropriation.
By leaving marks on you, scratches, bites, hickeys, she is marking her territory. She is literally biting into your flesh, wanting to eat you, to make you a part of herself. Do not scold her for this. These scars are your medals. It's a sign that you were able to bring her to a state of affect when culture peels off and only nature remains. Fact 30. The acceptance test. The finale. The moment of truth. How a woman treats your semen says more about her attitude towards you than a marriage contract. For many women, swallowing is a taboo, dirty. But on a deep level, it is an act of total acceptance of the male essence. It is the symbolic absorption of the victor's power. If she does it willingly, looking you in the eyes, she accepts all of you without reserve on a genetic level. She is not disgusted by you. If she runs to rinse her mouth with an antiseptic with a look of horror on her face, somewhere deep down she rejects you. She wants your resources, your status, but your biological essence is repulsive to her. This is a tough test, but it rarely lies. Freeze frame, the anchor of value.
Friend, you are now at the equator. We have covered 30 facts. Most channels at this point would have started waffling or selling you success courses, but we are here to get to the meat. This level of depth and hard truth will be in every one of my videos. If this is the approach you have been looking for years, if you need a sword, not a band-aid, subscribe to the channel right now. Become part of the pack that prefers the bitter truth to a sweet lie. It is only going to get tougher from here. We are moving on to your mistakes. Module 4. Men's Mistakes. Why you lose power. We have talked about her nature. Now let's talk about your behavior. Why, with resources, strength, and logic, do you lose in this war of the sexes? The answer is simple. You violate the laws of ethology, the science of animal behavior. You try to be a human where you need to be a pack leader. Here are 10 rakes that 90% of men step on. Fact 31. Nice guy syndrome. We were taught, be kind, give in, help, and you will be loved. In the female world, this works in the exact opposite way. Your excessive compliance and desire to please are read by her ancient brain not as nobility, but as weakness. In the wild, a weak male who gives in to everyone does not get the right to reproduce. He is a resource, but not a hero. When you agree with everything she says, when you are afraid to offend her, you kill the polarity. Vaginal wetness is a reaction to masculine hardness, not softness. The nice guy is a girlfriend with a penis. You share secrets with girlfriends, you go shopping with them, but you do not desire them. The more you try to be good, the faster you become asexual. Kindness should be a dosed reward, not a default setting. Fact 32. The Westermarck effect and the open door. Edward Westermarck discovered an effect according to which people who live together from early childhood do not feel attraction to each other. It is a mechanism to prevent incest. But this effect also works for adult couples who erase all boundaries of intimacy. If you walk around in front of her in your boxer shorts, scratch your belly, fart, or worst of all, leave the bathroom door open, you are killing her libido with your own hands. You become a relative to her, a brother, and you do not sleep with brothers. To keep the spark alive, you must maintain distance and mystery. You must be aesthetic. Close the door. Leave her space for fantasy. Do not turn your home into a commune where nothing is sacred. Fact 35. Briffault's Law. Robert Briffault formulated a law that sounds cynical but explains everything. The female, not the male, determines the conditions of the family, and past benefits conferred by the male do not matter. You can provide for the family for 10 years, give her 3 cars and take her to resorts, but if you showed weakness today, all your past achievements are nullified. Men live by an accumulative system. I've done so much for her, she should be grateful. Women live in the moment. How do I feel next to you right now? Do not try to buy her loyalty with past merits.
Every day you must confirm your status. It is an endless tournament. The moment you decide the cup is on your shelf and you can relax, you have lost. Fact 35. Touch starvation. Many men stop touching their women outside of the bedroom, or they touch them only when they want sex. This is a mistake. A woman's skin is a giant sensory organ. If you do not dominate tactive, do not hug her confidently, do not spank her, do not squeeze her, she starts to dry up, or worse, she starts seeking those touches elsewhere. Your hands are an instrument of power. The touch should be possessive, assertive. This is my woman. When you stop claiming her body through everyday touches, she subconsciously decides that she has become no one's, and a woman who belongs to no one quickly finds a new owner. Fact 35. Validation inflation. Do you give her compliments 5 times a day? Do you like every one of her photos? Do you write her poems? Congratulations, you have devalued your attention. In economics, this is called inflation. When there is too much money, it turns into paper. If you praise her just for existing, her praise ceases to be a currency. She stops trying. Validation is a salary. It should be paid for something, for a delicious dinner, for good behavior, for a beautiful dress, but not for nothing. A deficit of your approval makes her strive for your attention. Become an expensive critic, not an enthusiastic fan.
Fact 36. Loss of mission. The most terrible mistake a man can make is to make a woman the center of his world. As soon as you put her on a pedestal and start living for her, she loses interest in you. Biologically, a female must follow a male who is going towards some great goal, on a hunt, to war, to success. If your goal is her, then who is she to follow? It becomes a vicious circle. She looks at you and you look at her. There is no movement. You must have a mission, a purpose that is more important to you than her. This sounds cruel, but this is precisely what is attractive. He loves his work more than me. This evokes respect and fear of loss. He can't live without me. This evokes boredom and contempt. Fact 37. Financial castration. A classic scenario. A man gives his entire salary to his wife and then asks her for money for gas or cigarettes. At this moment, a psychological role reversal occurs. Whoever distributes the resources is the one in charge. By giving away the money, you voluntarily become a child, and you appoint her as mommy. The incestual barrier kicks in instantly. You do not sleep with mom. You obey mom. You fear mom. Never lose control over financial flows. You can allocate a budget, but the control button must remain with you. A man's financial dependence on a woman, even if it is his money that she manages, is the end of sexual dominance. Fact 38. Excuses. The language of a victim. An alpha never makes excuses. He may explain his decision if he deems it necessary, or he may remain silent, but he never apologizes for who he is. As soon as you start making excuses to a woman for being late at work, for your hobbies, for your gaze, you hand over the power of a judge to her. She's on top, you are at the bottom. You are guilty, she is right. This position destroys your authority. If you made a mistake, admit it briefly, fix it, and move on. But do not whine and beg for forgiveness. A man making excuses looks pathetic, and pity is the antonym of passion. Fact 39. Fear of loss. The paradox of relationships. A woman is loyal only to a man who is ready to leave at any moment. As soon as she sees in your eyes the sticky fear of loneliness, the fear of losing her, the fear of divorce, she begins to lose respect. If he is so afraid of losing me, it means I'm the prize and he a loser who got lucky. Your main strength is your autonomy. You must convey the state, I'm good with you, but I will be fine without you. This is not a bluff, it is an inner foundation. It is this calmness and independence that keep her on her toes.
She must earn the right to be with a strong man every morning, not do a favor to a weak one. Fact 40. The lack of a lair. Every predator must have his own lair. A garage, a study, a workshop, a corner in a room, a place where a woman's entry is forbidden or strictly regulated. This is your sovereign territory. If you do not have your own corner and you are always in a common space under her control, you dissolve. You need a lair to restore your testosterone. There you do your own thing. There you are silent. There you think. A man who has no secrets and no place of his own becomes simple and understandable like a red newspaper. Newspapers are thrown away. Maintain your autonomy. Module 5. Diagnostics and Signals. An X-ray for the man. You have understood your mistakes. Now let's learn to read her. Women think they're masters of conspiracy, but biology always reveals the truth. The body cannot lie. Here are 10 signs that will help you diagnose your relationship without a lie detector. Fact 41. The face of infidelity. The science of physiognomy combined with endocrinology provides interesting data. Studies show that women with high testosterone levels, wider cheekbones, a strong square jaw, are more prone to cheating than women with soft, childish facial features, baby face. This is not a verdict, but a statistic. High testosterone pushes them to seek adventure and dominance. If your chosen one has such combative features, you need to be vigilant. Her temperament requires a firm hand and constant drive. Otherwise, she will find that drive elsewhere.
Fact 42. The bedroom voice and manipulation. Watch her voice. Women unconsciously change their tonality depending on the goal. If she starts to squeak, speaking in a high, childish voice, she is engaging in daddy's little girl manipulation. She wants to get something, beg for something, soften your anger. This is not passion, it is a cunning calculation. True arousal always lowers the voice. The throat relaxes, a hoarseness appears, the so-called vocal fry. If she continues to squeak in bed, she is playing a role. If she growls or speaks in a low, chesty voice, she is yours. Trust only the low frequencies. Fact 43. The pendulum walk. Pay attention to how she walks. During ovulation, when the body is looking for a partner, a woman's gait changes. The amplitude of her hip sway increases. This is an ancient signal. I am fertile. Pay attention. The spine becomes more flexible. If you notice that when she leaves the house with you, she walks normally, but when she gets ready for a corporate party or a meeting with friends, she suddenly starts swaying her hips like a model on the runway, ask yourself, for whom is this beacon turned on? The body is preparing for the hunt, even if the brain denies it. Fact 44. Crossed legs. Body language. When a woman sits with her legs crossed, it is not just for comfort. It is a posture of defense and at the same time of display. But there is a nuance. If the toe of the upper leg is pointed at you, she is open to contact. If she crosses her legs and turns the lock away from you, building a barrier, she is closed. She is on the defensive. In addition, frequent leg crossing and rhythmic squeezing of the thighs can be a way of subtle self-stimulation or creating pressure in the groin area when aroused. If she does this while talking to you, it is a good sign. If while talking on the phone with a colleague, it is a bad one. Fact 45. Hair as a pheromone fan. The gesture when a woman sharply shakes her hair or throws it back, exposing her neck, is an attack. Hair stores scent and pheromones. By shaking it, she sprays her aroma towards the male. The demonstration of the neck is a demonstration of vulnerability and trust. If in a restaurant she fixes her hair while looking at you, she is flirting. But if she does it while looking around or at the bartender, her radar is looking for a new target. Watch the direction of the shot.
Fact 46. The phone as a black box. The simplest and most reliable test. In a normal, trusting relationship, a phone can lie screen up. But if she has made it a habit to always, absolutely always, place her phone screen down, it is a 100% sign of an active secret. Pop-up notifications are what she fears more than fire. The second sign is that she takes her phone with her everywhere, to the shower, to the toilet, to take out the trash. This is not an attachment to a gadget. It is the fear that you will see something that will destroy your legend of a happy family. The phone is the black box of her life. If it is closed, the plane is already going down. Fact 47. The food test. Freud said that the attitude towards food and sex has the same root, the libido. Watch how she eats. If she eats with appetite, enjoys the taste, licks the spoon, is not afraid to get her lips dirty, she behaves the same way in bed. She is sensual. If she picks at her plate, disgustedly puts pieces aside, wipes her mouth with a napkin after every sip with an expression of sterility, she will be the same in sex, dry, squeamish, and mechanical. A woman who does not love the taste of life on her tongue will not love the taste of your body either. Fact 48. Tears as a chemical weapon. Do not believe her tears. It is scientifically proven. Female tears contain a chemical signal that when inhaled by a man lowers his testosterone and aggression levels. This is a biological safety catch to prevent the male from killing the female in a rage. She cries not because she is in so much pain, but because it is her way of disarming you. As soon as you see tears, your brain goes soft. You feel sorry for her. You are ready to surrender. Remember, this is manipulation. In 90% of cases, it is an act or a defense reflex. Keep your cool. Do not let chemistry control your decisions.
Fact 49. Lips as a mirror of the kitty. Anthropologists claim that a woman's lips on her face are an evolutionary imitation of her labia. When a woman is aroused, blood rushes to her lips, making them brighter and fuller. That is why they love red lipstick and gloss so much. It is an imitation of an aroused, moist kitty on her face. If she constantly bites her lips, licks them while talking to you, this is a direct body signal of desire. She is unconsciously drawing attention to one entrance, hinting at another. Read this invitation correctly. Fact 50. The Medusa gaze, prelude to the finale. The final diagnostic fact. A woman's gaze immediately after sex. In these seconds, the masks are off. If she looks at you with warmth, with a hazy look, rests her head on your shoulder, attachment is there. But if immediately after the finale her gaze becomes sober, cold, evaluative, or empty, if she immediately gets up and goes to wash as if washing off dirt, this is the gaze of Medusa the Gorgon. It turns you to stone. It means you were used as a vibrator. There is no emotional connection. You are a function. And as soon as the function is performed, you are no longer needed. Attention, we have reached the climax. We have covered 50 facts. We have dissected anatomy, the psychology of infidelity, your mistakes, and body signals. But I promised you the most important thing, the patient zero effect. This is the very truth that unites all the previous points. It is the answer to the question, and what do I do with all of this now? If you do not understand this last thought, everything you have learned before will be just a collection of interesting facts. But if you understand this, you will exit the matrix. Module 6. The finale, the patient zero effect. We have come a long way. We have dissected an anatomy that seemed a mystery. We have peered into the dark corners of the female psyche where infidelity and instincts live. We have looked in the mirror of our own mistakes. And now you may have the feeling that a woman is a dangerous, chaotic, and cynical predator with whom it is impossible to build happiness, that this is a war in which you are doomed to be a sapper. But this is not so. And here we come to the main secret, to that very patient zero effect. In epidemiology, the patient zero is the one who started the infection. In relationships, it is always you. Look the truth in the eye.
A woman, for all her complexity, is a reactive system. She is like water. Water has no shape of its own. It takes the shape of the vessel it is poured into. If the vessel is leaky, the water will flow out. If the vessel is dirty, the water will become cloudy. If the vessel is boiling, the water will turn into steam and burn. The vessel is your masculine core, your character, your rank. All those horrors we talked about, infidelity, manipulation, coldness, searching for a better branch, are not a woman's malicious plan. It is her reaction to your weakness. These are symptoms that patient zero, the man, has fallen ill. Ill with spinelessness, loss of purpose, dependence. As soon as you lose your form, the woman's nature begins to rebel. Her instincts start looking for a way out because she no longer feels safe with you. The patient zero effect states any problem in your relationship is a consequence of your rejection of your masculine nature. You stopped being a predator, and she stopped being prey. You stopped being a leader, and she started looking for another pack leader. You gave her the wheel, so do not be surprised that she is driving the car into a ditch. She does not want to drive. She wants to ride in the passenger seat and apply lipstick while you confidently hold the road. This knowledge may seem heady, as it places 100% of the responsibility on you. But in fact, this knowledge is liberating, because if the problem is in you, then the solution is also in you. You do not need to remake a woman. That is impossible. She is a force of nature. You need to cure patient zero. You need to reclaim your instincts, your lair, your mission, and your right to power. As soon as you do this, as soon as you become firm, calm, and self-sufficient, the system will reboot. The very same woman who was a shrew yesterday will become a gentle kitten tomorrow, because water calms down when the vessel is still. Now you have 50 facts, you have a map of the minefield, and you have the master key. You are no longer a blind kitten. You are the operator of the system. Act. Friend, we have lanced this boil. Now the choice is yours. Either forget all this and return to the sweet dream of illusions, or start applying this knowledge and build your life on the foundation of realism. If you choose the second path, you must be in our community. Right now, check if you are subscribed to the channel and if the bell is clicked. The next videos will be even more specific. We will move from theory to practice of taming our own demons. And write in the comments which of the 50 facts hit you the hardest. Which one became your personal insight? Let's gather our collective wisdom below. See you in the new reality.